Hi, so a quick tutorial video on how to cut, or how I cut colours on shortcuts a lot. As you can see on screen, I've got Affinity Designer, which is my preferred drawing package, but you can use Illustrator or you can use Inkscape, whatever you like. I find I find Affinity Designer very good and very well priced, so I'd highly recommend it. Nice and fast as well. Anyway, moving on. I have here an image. This is what I'm going to use as a multi-layer vinyl-based image. And as you see, I've got a number of colours here. And the way I've drawn it, I've basically drawn it with cutting in colours in mind. So this image, for me, was done purely for the vinyl. But you can take any image and you can basically reorder the layers in the same way I've done here. So what I've got is a group, which I use for the model itself, and I've literally just split that down into separate color groups. So in this case I've got one here for the red, which is the sort of the main body of this this little spaceship I've got here. So that would be your red group, and then I've separated out all the colors, as you can see. So this here would be my red cut color. Obviously I could change that for any other color I wanted, should someone want one with a different color. And then I've got all my little black items, and my gold sort of yellowy items, which will come out in metallic gold, and then there's a nice silver, and then some little white highlights which you can just barely see. And as you can see, they all build up to make the final image. You do need to consider the order that you're putting these in, because obviously if you've got those there, you're going to have problems. But it doesn't really matter from a cutting point of view. This is just something to consider from a model designing point of view. So once I got to this point, what I can do is I can take this whole image and export it to an SVG. So would export the whole document as is. Choose your DPI level just to shoot whatever you've got configured into Shortcuts a lot. You may have noticed it was 72 DPI, which is what I had originally, but I think I've currently got it set to 300, so I'll export to that. SVG I find by far the best one, but the critical thing is these groups here. So if we export that, we will just stick that on the desktop, shall we say that there, and then we can come into Shortcuts a lot, and we want to import that. So Control-Shift-I for import, and then go and find your little model. There it is, and we'll open that up in here. And as you can see, I've got the DPI completely wrong. Not to worry, we can import that, and we should. No, not to worry. Well, the best laid plans are mice and men, so we'll come back here and we shall export again, but we'll export out 72 DPI. Back onto the desktop, yeah, overwrite that, and try once more. There we go, that's a bit better. So it's still too big, but for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm just going to shrink that down there. And when you look in here on the Layers tab in Shortcuts a lot, you can see that we've already got the SVG layers have been preserved in here. So literally, if you want to print the layer by layer, you can just deselect everything but the layer you want, and you can come in. If you want to be sure, you can do a little preview there, and that'll show you what you're going to get. And then for what I'm doing here, I just do an origin point cut, and you can select your presets as normal and cut away. If I was doing this as a multi-layer, normally I would actually have some boxes that I put on the different colors so that I can align it by eye when I put the whole thing together. But if you're doing something like a t-shirt, for example, using heat transfer film, then that's not a problem. If I'm doing this with sticky vinyl, like sign vinyl, then that's not really easy to do because you can't slide the layers over one another. But it really is as simple as this. Just create your separate groups for each color you want, and then just show them one by one, and cut as you go. And there you go. It's as simple as that.